Hey, boys and girls, this book is called Introducing Asia. Introducing Continents, Asia, by Anita Ganeri. Important feature of nonfiction text is the table of contents. The table of contents tells you what subjects or what chapters are in the book and what pages you can find them on. So if I just want to learn about the geography of Asia and I don't want to read the whole book, I can go down the table of contents and say, oh, geography, page 8. And I would turn to page 8. So that's how the table of contents works. Some other features of nonfiction text is a map. This is a map of the world. And in dark green, it shows you where the continent of Asia is. So you can kind of compare the size of Asia to the other continents, and you can see where it's at in the world. A table is another feature of nonfiction text. This has a list of quick facts about Asia. The area is about 16,919 square miles. The population is more than 4 billion. The number of countries is 50. And the highest mountain is Mount Everest at 29,035 feet. And the longest river is the Yangtze, and it's 3,915 miles. About Asia. A continent is a huge area of land. There are 7 continents on Earth. This book is about the continent of Asia. Asia is the biggest continent. Asia stretches from the Mediterranean Sea in the west to the Pacific Ocean in the east. To the north is the Arctic Ocean, and in the west, Asia is linked to the continent of Europe. Famous places. Asia has many famous places. Some are very old. The Taj Mahal in India was built more than 400 years ago. The Emperor of India built it as a tomb for his wife. Excuse me. And another feature of nonfiction text that you're going to see are little captions or labels in pictures. And those will explain what's in the pictures or who's in the pictures. This caption says, the beautiful Taj Mahal is built from white marble. It is a very beautiful building. Inside the Burj Khalifa are apartments and offices. Wow. Some famous places are very modern. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, opened in 2010. It is almost 2,720 feet high, the tallest building in the world. Geography. Asia has many different landforms. The Himalayas are found to the north of India and Nepal. They are the highest mountains on Earth. Mount Everest is the world's highest mountain. It stands 29,035 feet. Many climbers visit the Himalayas every year. One-humped camels live in the sandy Rub al-Khali desert. Rub al-Khali. There are enormous deserts in Asia. The rocky Gobi Desert lies in China and Mongolia. It is very hot in summer and very cold in winter. The sandy Rub al-Khali Desert is in the Arabian Peninsula. Wow, look at that. The Yangtze River in China is the longest river in Asia. It flows for 3,915 miles from the mountains in western China to the East China Sea. Millions of people live along the riverbanks. The Yangtze River is very important for water, food, and transportation. More than 130 rivers flow into the Caspian Sea, including the Volga River. Asia also has many large lakes. The Caspian Sea between Asia and Europe is the biggest lake on Earth. It covers 143,000 square miles. It is called a sea because it is very salty. Weather. Asia is so big that it has a wide range of weather. There are rainforests in Southeast Asia, and they lie around the equator, where it is always hot and wet. In the far north of Russia, it is freezing cold year-round. It is so cold in Siberia, Russia, that the ground is always frozen. Typhoons cause terrible damage in the Philippines. Each year, monsoon winds bring heavy rains to countries such as India. Some parts of Asia are hit by fierce storms called typhoons. These can cause flooding that can wash away people's homes and crops. Animals. Many amazing animals live in Asia. Orangutans live in the rainforest on the island of Borneo and Sumatra. Komodo dragons live in Indonesia. They are the world's largest lizards and can grow up to 10 feet long. Komodo dragons only live on a few islands in Indonesia. Giant pandas are easy to spot with their striking black and white coats. Giant pandas live in south-central China. They mostly eat bamboo. Giant pandas are very rare. Today, there are only about 1,500 left in the wild because their forest homes are being cut down. Plants. Mangrove swamps grow along the coast of India and Bangladesh, where rivers flow into the ocean. The trees have long roots to help them keep a firm hold in the mud. Large mangrove swamps grow around the Bay of Bengal. The giant Rafflesia has the biggest flower in the world. Wow, look at that. A huge forest of pine, fir, and larch stretches across the north of Asia. Warm, wet rain forests grow in Southeast Asia. The Rafflesia is a rainforest plant. Its giant flower smells like rotting meat. Natural resources. Asia has many natural resources. Much of the world's oil comes from the Middle East. The oil comes from under the desert. The countries in the Middle East sell their oil around the world. Selling oil has made them very rich. These oil wells are in the desert in the Middle Eastern country of Qatar. Many farmers in Asia still harvest their crops by hand. There are many farms, both large and small, across Asia. Rice is grown in flooded fields called paddy fields. Farmers also grow tea, rubber, wheat, cotton, and sugarcane. People. More than 4 billion people live in Asia. This is about 3 out of every 5 people on Earth. China and India are the most crowded countries. Very few people live in Mongolia. People crowd along the banks of the Ganges River in India. This is Chinese writing. The letters and sounds are called characters. The people of Asia speak thousands of different languages. Many people speak more than one language. More than 1 billion people speak Mandarin, Chinese. Some local languages only have a few speakers. Culture and sports. Many colorful festivals take place across Asia. Each spring, Japanese people celebrate when the cherry tree blossoms. They visit parks to see the cherry trees, light lanterns, and have picnics under the trees. These people in Japan are enjoying the beautiful cherry blossoms. Many people play cricket in India and Pakistan. Many sports are played in Asia. Cricket is very popular in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Martial arts such as judo and kung fu are common in Japan, China, and North and South Korea. Countries. There are 50 countries in Asia. The smallest country is the Maldives. It is a group of tiny islands in the Indian Ocean. Indonesia is made up of more than 18,000 islands. It is the world's largest group of islands. And this photograph shows government buildings in Beijing, the capital of China. China is the biggest country that is just in Asia. Russia is bigger, but only part of Russia is in Asia. The other part is in the continent of Europe. Turkey is also split between Asia and Europe. Countryside and cities. In the countryside in Asia, many people still live in small villages. Some villages do not have running water or electricity. And each year, many people move from the countryside to the cities to look for work. This small village is in Thailand. Many people who live there get food and money from fishing. This crowded street is in Tokyo, the capital of Japan. Asia has some very big crowded cities. Among the biggest are Shanghai in China, Mumbai in India, and Tokyo in Japan. Fun facts. Asia takes up almost 1/3 of all the land on Earth. Lake Baikal in Russia is the deepest lake on Earth. It plunges more than 5,249 feet. China and Russia have more neighbors than any other countries. China and Russia both have borders with 14 countries. The 10 highest mountains in the world are all found in Asia. Which building in Asia is the tallest in the world? Which plant do giant pandas like to eat? Which is the smallest country in Asia? And which mountain in Asia is the highest in the world? This is a glossary. Glossary has important words in the book, and it tells you what they mean. Bamboo is a tall plant with thin, woody stems. Continent, one of 7 huge areas of land on Earth. Emperor, a person who rules an empire. Equator, an imaginary line that runs through the middle of the Earth. Landforms, features such as mountains on Earth's surface. Martial arts, sports such as judo and karate. Monsoon, wind that brings heavy rain. Natural resources, natural materials that we use such as wood, coal, oil, and rock. Paddy fields, flooded fields where rice is grown. Swamps, places where the ground is muddy or flooded. A tomb, a place where a dead body is buried. Typhoons, fierce storms that bring strong winds and heavy rain. And if you want to read more about Asia, you can look at these books that are listed here or go to these websites that are listed here. And this is another important feature of a nonfiction text, is the index. The index has important words that are listed in the book or mentioned in the book, and it tells you what pages they're mentioned on. So if you wanted to find out about deserts, you would go to page 9. If you wanted to find out about cities, you could go to page 27. Lakes is on page 11 and page 28. Weather is page 12 through 13. So if you wanted to get specific information, but you didn't quite know where to look from your table of contents, you can always look at your index, and that can help you find the information you need. This has been a book called Introducing Asia. I hope you liked it.